welcome to another segment of Testimony of Praise here on Roku, on Facebook, and YouTube, and all the other outlets that you follow us on. This is a testimony that we've been waiting long to present to those that's going to be watching it. Listen, let me tell you, you're going to really enjoy this testimony. He also is one of the elders of the ministry, the Upper Room Worship Center, and we here with no other than Ricky Cooks. Watch this, y'all, with his new book that God birthed in the spirit, 26 years Addict. Wait till you hear this testimony. God bless you, my brother.
God bless you.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Now, let's get this thing started. We're going to talk about the book first, but I want the people to know the real Ricky Cooks, to kind of get the high points and sum it up, how you grew up, the things that you accomplished in life, and even talk about what led you to be this 26-year addict.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a one-parent family. My father left, and it gave me sort of an inferiority complex.
Okay.
And while growing up, I wanted to be the best father that I could be if I was ever a father.
Okay.
And so, I don't know, through high school and everything, I felt, well, I stayed away from people to keep from being rejected.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So then, I became successful.
Okay. Wait, hold up. I want to hear about your high school experience. And you told us yesterday about the high school experience.
Oh.
And you, because you mentioned about being the best father, so I want you to tell the people how you told yourself, even as a teenager, what you're going to do.
Okay. When I was in the 11th grade, in the English literature class, two men came in, dressed like the Men in Black. And they had about a 10-minute discussion with the teacher. And when they left, we put away our books. And we immediately began to learn Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay.
We had a 2-album set.
Okay.
And we had to learn just about every song on that album, both albums, verbatim.
Okay.
And there was something that didn't sit well with me because Judas was made out to be the hero.
Okay. Right.
And that wasn't right.
Right. Right. Right.
And so it bothered me until after I graduated from high school. And so I read the Bible on my own.
Yes.
And I understood maybe 1% of the Bible.
Okay. 1%.
But one day when I was driving in my car, I was listening to WVCY, gospel radio station. And there was a minister, John MacArthur,
Okay.
preaching on books in the Old Testament.
Yes.
And I understood what he said, and I applied it to what I had read already. And I said, I know this. I know this. So it led me into an in-depth Bible study.
Okay.
For a few years.
Okay. Okay. Now you're still a young man, still a teenager, right?
Then I was in my early 20s.
Okay, when you picked up the Bible and listened to VCOI.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I found out things about Jesus. And what I found out was that once you know who Jesus is, once you're introduced to Jesus, he will introduce you to yourself.
Oh, that's good. That's good there.
Because
That's
then
good. Y'all hear that? That's good there. Go ahead.
Then you have something to compare yourself to.
Right.
I'm better than Johnny, but Alfred is better than me, and you're comparing yourself to your peers, and that's not good.
Right. Right.
Not good at all.
So now, you learned the Bible, you studied it out. You said you only really took in about, what, a 1%?
At first.
At first. So what you got to the end of study, and one of the main teachers that you listened to was who?
John MacArthur, and there was another one.
Okay.
But,
And how in debt did you go into John MacArthur's study, his teachings?
I sent for about $400 worth of tapes.
That'll do it.
I did not listen to any radio. Every time I got into my car, I put in a tape.
Okay.
And I had a job where I drove all day, so I listened to them all day. and I was getting strong in the Lord,
Okay.
and the Lord was blessing me.
Then share with the people how he was blessing you.
I put it in my mind that I wanted a new vehicle, brand new vehicle. And when I was 19 years old, I drove a brand new vehicle off the showroom floor.
Okay.
And then I wanted a house. When I was 24, I bought a house.
Okay. Now y'all hear that? At 24, he bought a house after the new car. Go ahead.
And then offers started to come. I got a house for you, and I think you can handle it. So I bought another house, and I bought another house, and I bought another house.
Wow.
And I learned a lot from my mother. She had an 8th grade education. She worked for minimum wage, and she owned 3 houses.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah.
Wow. So it was, so even though the father wasn't in the home, you still follow some of the principles that your mother bestilled in you.
All right.
And you was able to follow the same pattern that she followed.
Right.
Go ahead.
But what happened when I was 12 years old, my father was reintroduced back into my life.
Okay.
When I was 12 years old, I signed up for an after-school program. And this program assigned different kids from different schools with different agencies around the city for cleanup help. And I was assigned to the inner city development project, which was in a bank building on Tatonia and Hadley.
Okay.
Yes.
And my father had an office there. And I was assigned to work under him.
Okay, now what was he doing in the office? What was his job?
He was the director of the inner city council.
Alcoholic.
Yeah, inner city development project, alcoholic council.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
ICCA,
Mm-hmm.
inner city council on alcoholism. He was the founder
Okay. Okay.
because he went to the Senate floor and lobbied for money
Wow.
to get that stuff founded.
Wow.
Awesome.
Because there was no alcoholic program for blacks only.
Wow. So even the alcoholic program that's established for a majority of the blacks that's in the alcohol programs here was really many of them came out of what your dad started, right?
Right.
Wow. That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So go ahead.
Okay, and while I was working there, he got a $9,000 budget from the state government. He got an office and a coffee pot. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is great. You got your own office, you got a coffee pot. so I sat down. The first day I went to work, I sat down and watched the other kids working.
Right.
And I just sat down drinking Coca-Cola.
Uh,
And my father came in at 11:30 and said, lunchtime. So, wow, I get a lunch for doing this. And so I got into the car with him. He told me to get into the back seat. I got into the back seat, and we went to a tavern. He parked outside. And he went in, and he came out with a drunk. And he said, I told you to come to my office today, and you didn't show up. And he was fussing at him and yelling at him. He was going, ah. And my father took him back to the office because he had to show a quota.
right.
Right.
So he took him back to his office and started feeding him coffee and preaching to him.
Wow.
And he did that day after day. And the first 10 people that he rehabilitated became the staff of 10 counselors.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yes.
And those people were the ones that told me, if it wasn't for your father, I would have died. If it wasn't for your father, I would have lost my family.
Right.
If it wasn't for your family or your father, I'd be lost right now.
Wow. So now let's fast forward it up to but first of all, I want to go back to the John MacArthur. You studied all the tapes.
I listened.
You listened. So I knew then that anybody that's listened to that much word, we can
Yes.
both agree, baby, much word we listen to. that it's gonna, it's a lot of time it may not reach your head, but it'll reach your spirit, man.
Right.
Yes.
So now you got to the point you accomplished. You got all these homes. Did you have a family at the time?
Yes.
Okay, you got the family.
Not right away, but I
Right, then gradually came
right.
in. You started a family. Now, share with the people what happened to cause the downfall that lead to the 26 years of alcoholism. Addiction.
I was doing too much. I worked an 8-hour job.
Mm-hmm.
I was a landlord. I went to school, night school,
Mm-hmm.
working on an engineering degree,
Okay.
and I had 5 kids.
5?
5.
I thought you only had 2.
No, I had 5 kids.
Oh Lord, you just sharing something with us. We think only a son and a daughter. So 5. You did mention that yesterday. Okay, go ahead.
Every day I woke up, I hit the floor with my feet running.
Okay. So
Okay.
did you have enough time to? Well, it seemed like you didn't even have enough time to really spend a lot of time with your kids.
I did though.
You did.
Yes,
Oh,
I
so
did.
you found time for
I
that.
found time.
Okay, go ahead.
It's in one of the poems.
Go ahead.
I spent time with my kids as much as I could,
Mm-hmm.
and I was pretty happy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got some spare time.
Okay, and that's where what's the script? Most folks say idle mind and idle time is
Idle
a devil
time.
workshop. But go ahead.
And what happened one day in my spare time, I went to a Halloween party
Mm-hmm.
at a funeral parlor.
A Halloween party at a funeral parlor. So automatically, I wouldn't do a Halloween party at a funeral party because I'm thinking some of them dead folk gonna get up. But go ahead.
And that's where I took my first hit of crack.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Never experienced it in your life.
Nope, never in my life.
And what was the outcome behind that?
Outcome behind it, I liked it.
Oh Lord Jesus. Most people who, if anybody that's watching, and I can bear witness because I have my testimony on the network also,
Yes.
that most people, the first hit, then they call it chasing Jason.
Right.
Because that first hit, you want to keep on trying to get the response or the way you felt in that first hit to try to get it in the second, the third, the fourth. You find out you never experienced that first hit, but you steady keep hitting until you try to get it, never get it. Go ahead.
Amen. Okay, and so it escalated.
Mhm.
And as it escalated, I found myself being more and more not able to resist it.
Okay.
It's just like a drink. The man takes the drink, and then the drink takes the man.
Oh, that's another good.
Same thing.
That'd be another thought for the book, or another poem. Go ahead.
And I found myself getting deeper and deeper and deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and believing the 2 lies of addiction. The first lie is I can quit whenever I want to.
Yes.
The second lie is I'm not hurting anyone except myself.
Right.
And then when I found out that I was hurting anyone, I tried to stop, and I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, what the heck, I've gone this far. And I escalated, and I started losing.
And losing how?
Well,
What started going first?
addiction turns you into a thief.
I like
Okay.
The
that.
first thing you steal is your time.
Come
Right.
on. The hour later, you ready
You
to
steal your leisure time, you steal your spare time,
Yeah.
Yes.
and you steal time from your family, and you steal time from opportunities and engagements,
Yes.
and you start stealing time from work.
Right. Wow.
And then you steal time from work until you get fired.
Right.
And then you don't have to worry about going to work. You have all the time you want.
Come on.
But you don't have a job, so you don't have any money, so you start stealing other things.
Come on. Jesus.
So you're a full-fledged thief now. You sold all your time,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're starting to steal.
So now, how long did it take for you to this affect your family and your homes that you own?
Oh, it took a long time because I had lots of money.
Okay.
And I was stealing from myself until I didn't have anything left to steal.
Wow.
And when I realized the position I was in,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing I did was pray to God, because I still had God in my heart.
Come on, come on, come on.
And I said, God, you know that I wanted to be the best father that I could be,
Yes.
but I cannot be that at this point in my life.
Jesus.
So I want you to take over as the children's father.
Jesus.
So I know you can do anything and all
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
And he did take over. And he did it because 5 children with a crackhead daddy came out beautiful.
Amen.
They all went to college. They all have beautiful careers.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
And it's because of Jesus. My first prayer.
Right.
Yes.
So now, you said it took a while for you to lose the homes. Well, we know 26 years of being an addict. How long within that 26 years did it take for you to start losing all the homes that God bless you with?
It started in year 2.
Year 2.
Year 2.
Year
Okay.
number 2.
Wow.
I lost my own home.
Okay.
I think I lost them all in year 2.
You lost all of them
All of
in
them.
year 2.
Right.
Okay.
So now you start to see the repercussion of the choice
Right.
of picking up the pipe.
Right, but to me, it wasn't repercussions. It was just another fact of life.
Oh, is that how you saw it?
That's how I saw it.
Wow. So what do you think? What was you thinking at that time? Was you thinking you was when you said it was another fact of life? So you use that as a justification?
Yeah, that was justification. Because I told myself that I could lose everything I had and get it back in another day.
I like that.
I left God
So-
totally out of the equation.
So you was doing everything on your own strength.
I was doing it.
So I want to ask you, since going back even on the houses, that did you credit God for blessing them houses?
Not at all.
Okay, so anytime, and the reason why I'm glad that we did have a talk somewhat yesterday, because I want the high points to come out, because a lot of time people can equate, even though you was blessed to go through all that $400 worth of Christian tapes training, that we can get to the point where we still can allow pride to get in,
Right.
and we can say, well, I have done this on my own strength.
Yes, sir.
We many incidents in the Bible.
Yes.
Nebuchadnezzar was one of them, that the prophet warned him of the dream, and told him that, I'm going to paraphrase it, that God allowed him to have that kingdom. God
Right.
put him in that position.
Yes.
Don't you ever get to the point you think you've done it. And a year later, he said, look what I have created.
Right.
And he ended up turning
That's
to
Beast.
a beast in the field, and hair grow on him, look like feathers, and he was out in the fields eating grass as like a wild animal for 7
right.
years because
Yes.
he rebelled against God.
That's right.
Now, let's fast forward again.
Yes.
So losing everything in year 2, and within those 26 years, how many encounters did you have that you knew God was trying to get your attention?
Oh, I had a few. I had visions.
Wow.
God was telling me what was going to happen. I could see things. And I just counted them off as I'm so high, I'm seeing things.
Wow. No, we normally do. But deep down inside,
Deep down inside.
in your spirit,
I
you knew
knew.
this was
I
God.
knew.
God talking to
But that was another justification, because I've been through the same thing.
Right.
Another justification. I'm just going to justify this to just give me a little bit more time to do what I want to do. So this, how long did this go on?
Ooh, I don't even remember.
But it was a while.
It was a while. And then when I got to the point where I realized that I could not do anything about the situation. I couldn't take credit for it. I couldn't try to stop. I tried to stop, and I couldn't. There was nothing I could do. And I fell on my face before God. I said, God, I'm tired of this. I'm through.
Yes.
Jesus.
I wanted to come out.
Mhm.
Yes.
And he orchestrated some things in my life that led me out.
Okay. So when he led you out, what transpired in the process of being led out?
Okay, I was tired of being high.
Mhm.
So I would leave my house and go for walks.
Mhm.
Now, the action was still going on at my house.
Mhm.
But I would leave at late morning. I wouldn't come back until early evening. And one day I was going past this church. And it was a church that I'd gone to because the minister or the preacher of the church was also a home improvement contractor.
Uh-huh.
And me being in the construction trade, I went down there a couple of times and asked him about a job.
Mhm.
But after being up a few days, disheveled, teeth not brushed, hair not combed, I couldn't understand why he rejected even to talk to me.
I can tell you why. Go ahead.
So I got angry with him
Mm-hmm.
because he gave me an opportunity to come talk to him. He said, well, not right now, I'm busy,
Mm-hmm.
but on Sunday, come here and go to church. And after the second time, I thought in my mind, I'd never go to that church the way he disrespected me. If that was the last church in the world, I'd never go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would take my daily walks. Actually, where I walked to was St. Ben's
Mm-hmm.
and around downtown. I was running from my life.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And when you run from something, you're actually running to
To
something
something.
else.
Come on,
Yes.
sir.
And God knew I was running to him.
Right.
And so one day I was going past the church on my way out, and there was a guy sitting on the back of a pickup truck, sitting on the tailgate, with a straw in his mouth. He looked like an old country gentleman and swinging his leg. And he said, why don't you come here to Bible study? Bible study tonight at 6 o'clock. And it was about 11 o'clock then. And I remember my words, I'll never go to that church as long as I live.
Right.
And I went downtown on my way, and by the time I was coming back, it was almost 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And his words were ringing in my head.
Wow.
And the Holy Spirit was saying, come in, come in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went in. And I met a man there. His name was Ali Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave his testimony.
Right.
And his testimony sounded just like my
yours.
life.
Yeah.
My life.
Yes.
Except he went further down. He was eating out the garbage.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or he had been eating out the garbage, and he had been sleeping in abandoned cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't gotten there yet. I just got kicked out of my house.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to that.
Right.
And I was compelled to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to church there. I went to Bible study there. And one day, this old woman came with these young guys.
Mhm.
And they were Mama Delta, Miss Jackie,
Yes.
and the Love House.
Uh-huh.
And the Love House is described in the front of the book.
Yes.
And I didn't know who those guys were, but the Holy Spirit told me I belong with them.
Wow.
You belong with them. And I was compelled to come back. I didn't realize she only came once a month, once every first Sunday.
Yeah.
But then she came one Sunday and I said, I'm coming home with you. But before that happened, I told Mr. Jefferson, an elder in the church, I told him that there was evil in my house. I said, well, there's so much evil in my house. And that's what I was running away from. And I wanted to get the evil out of my house. I said, you really do? I said, yeah. And he gave me a bottle of blessing oil. And he said, go home tonight and bless your porch, bless your doors,
Yeah.
bless all the walls.
Yes.
and pray earnestly to God, and He'll get the evil out of your house.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I did that. And slowly but surely, people stopped coming to my house.
Wow.
That's good.
That's good.
And then one day I went home. I got home from work, I had some money, and I was ready to buy some drugs. And a police officer and a building inspector came up my stairs. I was upstairs. And said, you have 1 hour to get out. Pack up any medication you have and get out. The border crew was right behind me. And I remember what I said. I said, oh no, God, not all the evil.
Now that's funny. So you had 1 hour to leave.
I had 1 hour to leave.
Wow.
And at that point, I was homeless. Technically.
Wow.
But what I did, I went to Home Depot, bought 3 2x2s, 8 foot. I laid 2 side by side and cut one up into rungs and made a ladder. And so every night, I would climb up the back porch.
Into the house.
Into the house, my homemade ladder, because the downstairs was boarded up, not the upstairs. And and my mind was so far gone that I couldn't tell the difference between walking up to the door with a key and turning the knob and climbing a rickety ladder and going up. I was still going home.
Wow.
But there was no electricity in there, so I would go to the crack house after work, watch TV and have lights.
Then come to the doctor.
And then when my money was gone, I had to go to the darkness. But what I did, I would read my Bible. I'd light a candle, put it behind my head, and I would read the Bible. And one night, I opened my Bible up and said, oh, what do you got to tell me, God? Let me see. And I opened it up to Proverbs 4, I think. And it says, beware of the evildoers, or the wicked. Beware of the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Do not go their way. I said, it's good, Lord. Do not even pass by them. But yeah, Lord, I'm going to do that. He said, because they do not sleep unless they cause someone to fall. I said, uh-oh. I just been up for 3 days getting high. And I've been paying people to do evil things. God is calling me wicked.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I realized that I was way on the other side of where I thought I was.
Right. Right. Because of the biblical, because of the biblical foundations that you still have instilled in you, you still would even use that to justify that I ain't that bad.
Right, I'm not that bad.
But God had to let you know you were that bad.
I was that bad. I was worse than that bad.
So now go back, let's go fast forward. How did you finally get to the point that you had to go to Mother's Delta Love House?
Okay, I was still going to church.
Mm-hmm.
I went to church every Wednesday for Bible study and every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I met Mother Jackie there. And I thought it would be a good idea if I went to stay with her because I'm in a boarded up house. Chances are I would have got caught climbing the ladder I made up the back.
You got caught?
No, I didn't.
No, he
Oh,
would've-
okay.
he would've got
But there was,
Right.
it was just a matter of time.
Right, right.
And so I told Miss Jackie, I'm coming home with you. And she said, that's good, I'm ready. But I wasn't ready.
Wow.
And I told my daughter lived next door. And I told her, I'm going to the Love House. And she said, what's that? And I explained it to her. And she said, good, good. And I told God, just one more time.
One more time to get high?
Yeah, one more time. One more round. And so I did my one more time.
Mm.
I felt convicted. And my daughter said, I thought you were going to the Love House. How come you're not going? I'll take you. I said, no, I'll go. And that's one thing I did. I told her, and I told a lot of other people, because I knew they would have me convicted.
Right,
Because I wouldn't do what I said I would do.
right, right.
Yeah, they would hold you accountable.
Yeah,
So you finally decided to go.
finally went.
Now, when you got there, because I think matter of fact, I was already there when you got there, right? Or was you there before me?
I don't remember.
I think you came after. Yeah, I think you came after me. But when you got there, how was the battle of addiction versus I'm finna get this thing right?
Oh, the battle was over.
All right.
Because I was in a crack house. New Year's, 12 o'clock, Friday night, 2011, going into 2012. And right after the clock struck, my eyes were open. It's like someone pulled a bag off of my head. My mind was unblindfolded. And I could see things that were there, but I didn't ever see before.
Okay.
I saw that I wasted my life. I saw that I wasted my existence.
Mm-hmm.
I started wondering where are my kids. I started wondering where are all my possessions.
Mm-hmm.
I had houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Look what I did with them.
Right.
I spent my life in this place,
Wow.
giving my money away to Satan.
Right.
And that was a revelation all at once.
Wow.
And when I went to Mama Jackie's Love House, I was afraid of Satan because he had blinded me and taken years of my life. And that it was there I learned that I could overcome him. I had overcome him, but I learned that I had the power over him.
Come
Yes.
on, son.
There was no need to fear him.
Right.
Yes.
But that was my first reaction, my first instinct was
Mhm.
fear. Fear anything because he had conquered me.
Right. That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
Yes.
So now, so you mentioned the time that you got there, and I know I was there before then. But now, tell the people that okay, you got in the Love House, you overcame. Now, tell the people how you held on to one thing, and justify that too. Go ahead.
Oh, cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
That's in the book too.
That's in the book. Everything's in the book, y'all. Go ahead.
I was still smoking cigarettes and I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried to quit. I said, I can quit rock cocaine, but I can't quit these cigarettes.
Right.
So I tried to wean myself off. It didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I was so determined I knew it was going to work. And a new guy came and he asked me to walk him to the store. I walked him to the store. He bought me a pack of cigarettes. Oh, no. But what had happened was that when I first started smoking cigarettes, I used to wait for the cocaine to come from
Green Bay.
not Green Bay, closer to that, right up the road.
You said it, yeah.
Brown Deer.
Brown Deer, there you are. You said it.
And I started picking up cigarettes, smoking something.
Till the dope got there.
Right till the dope got there.
That's how you ended up smoking
That's
the
how I started
cigarettes.
smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And at the Love House, we had this thing called the shut-in.
Mm-hmm.
But before you go to the shut-in, you have a 3-day fast. And during the 3-day fast, you ask God for something that you want
To break.
to break
Yes.
or to gain. And I was asking to stop smoking. And one day I came out of the sanctuary and I had a piece of cigarette about 2 inches long. Because I was weaning myself. And God's voice sounded in my head, resounded. He said, "What are you doing, Ricky? Are you still waiting for that package from Brown Deer?" I said, "No, Lord." I said, "Well, God, tell me what can you do to help me stop smoking?" He said, "If you don't pick them up, I won't let you smoke them."
Wow.
So I threw that piece away and never picked up another one. And I never craved one
Wow.
or desire one again.
Right. Now, I want to, you want to say something, baby?
Yeah, I was going to say that that's a good point that he brought up because
Mhm.
only some things come out through prayer and fasting.
Right,
Mhm.
right. But one of the things I want to share with the people, when while he was yet smoking, me and my wife would go over there and minister at the Love House every Monday. And when he started, and we're going to talk about how he got started doing the poems, but he read a poem, and the poem was about how much he liked his cigarettes. So they gave me, he was preaching pretty in the poem, but then he said, one thing that I'm holding on to is these cigarettes, because I love these cigarettes. I'm like, what kind of poem is that? So after the class was over, the Bible study was over, I said, my brother, that everything is going good for you, and I know your testimony. I said, but that one thing that you know you convicted of, you need to just let go. You said, I know, but I love the cigarettes. And make a long story short, like after he prayed that prayer with the Lord, and the Lord told him just stop. Me and my wife went through like 2.5 or maybe 3 months, and normally he'd be one of the first ones outside after the Bible study lighting up. So then the Lord had to bring back to my memory that, you notice you ain't been seeing him out there? He walked right back up, going back in another building. I'm thinking, then like 2 months or 2 months went by, and then me and my wife got in the car and said, baby, I noticed I ain't never seen Rick smoke. I said, we need to ask him next week. And when next week came and we finally brought it to the attention, he said, oh yeah, I've been done smoking. But see, to let people know that even God can deliver you from some of the things that you least think that you. Look, we know, you and I both know. Now I'm glad you brought up that point about. He said, "Are you still waiting on the package from Brown Deer?" Because that was the biggest problem. The cocaine was a major problem. Right. So here you got this little bitty inky problem now, or a little thing you holding on to, because if y'all didn't catch it, but I want to put emphasis on it, he was not a smoker. He only was smoking because when people smoke cocaine, because I never smoked cigarettes, but when I smoked cocaine, when you used to smoke cocaine, I smoked a cigarette because it made you think you boosted it up, because you had to keep smoking something, and he was actually smoking a cigarette to suck on something till the real stuff got back. So God had to let you know that, hey, I done freed you from that. If I did it for that, I can do it for this. And once you gave it to him and you stopped, he took that away from you.
He took it away.
He took it away. So no matter what if you're living saved, you know you love the Lord, you still holding to some little thing, we still let you know that God can deliver you and set you free. Now we're gonna talk about how these poems came about. He wrote some awesome poems that that basically talks about your 26 years of addiction. So we heard many of his poems, and many other people was telling, but me and my wife was one of the main ones that think we said, look, those poems need to be a book. And we was even ready to allow my wife to go through helping him put the book together, help him publish the book, but then he went on and did it. So tell the people what brought the poems out. Where they come from? Where they come from?
It came from within me.
Yes.
There were things that I saw. Like I saw one situation where people were claiming to be Christians, but they weren't acting like Christians. So I wrote a poem about it. I went to Miss Jackie and said, these people are acting like Christians, they're going to church and they're doing this, but they turn into something else when they're outside the church. She said, write a poem about it. I said, yeah. So I wrote a poem about it. And then one thing I used to do that I didn't tell you about, I used to do parodies. I'd find a song and write other words to it. And some of my poems came from that.
Right.
Like I wrote one poem, Under the Lord's Cross. And it came from under the boardwalk.
Right. And then he showed up and wrote that one out. So when you wrote, when you start writing, because anybody know writing poems, the rhyming of the words have to be the most important thing. A lot of people can do a spoken word or write poetry where there's no rhyming in, but because of because of the songs that was in your spirit, you cause them to become activated in your writing of your poems today, right? So now, in the midst of writing, how many poems did you write?
I think I
all together
60 or how many pages do I have? I have 129 pages. Well, maybe 100.
Wow. And within how many years you been writing?
About 4 years.
About 4 years. Okay. Now, what inspired you to say, I'm going to not only start writing, but I actually want these poems to get in the hands of other people as a book? What really motivated you then?
Well, there was one poem I wrote, and it was for the people that were still in the world that I left.
Okay.
I started writing poems for people, poems for situations,
Wow.
and they made sense.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
And I thought that by these I could help someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So now, the book itself. We see here, Ricky Cooks, 26 years an addict, from 1985 to 2011. Now, when you said that when you got this book in your hand and got the first publication, and we got one too.
Yes.
And now, what did you say that now it's time for me to do with the book? What was the whole ideal of getting this book and getting it out?
To
What
get
was
it into the, it was that's written in here too.
Yes.
And to keep people from making the same mistake that I did.
Wow.
And if you made it already, to keep you from maintaining that mistake.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
good.
That's good.
That's good.
So, let me say this. Tell the people, once again, the name of the book and
How to get it.
how to purchase the book with all the different outlets that you go to. I hope you got them all in your spirit.
Oh. All I can remember is it'll be at Barnes & Noble, it'll be on eBay,
Yes.
and I have copies for sale myself.
Okay, and all the information is going to be on
Yes.
the screen, at the bottom of the screen. But before we close out this segment, we're going to, in a few minutes, you'll hear him read a couple of these poems. But some final words that you give to somebody who's struggling with addiction and want to be free.
Okay. If you're addicted and you're still satisfying the urge, you're not struggling. You're defeated.
Mm-hmm.
To struggle, you have to not do it. That's a struggle.
Right.
So don't be defeated. And the word of Jesus will help you be free.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Free indeed.
He that the Son set free is free indeed.
I have no urges. I have no cravings. I have temptations.
Mm-hmm. We all do.
One guy put down a pack of Newports, and the devil said, "Ask him for one. He'll give it to you." I said, "Devil, you crazy."
So let me say this. Let me say this on our closing. We just thank God for this testimony. We really believe that this testimony is going to help a lot of people. We know the book is going to be a blessing. And for those who watching us on today, we're going to ask you to purchase the book. All his information is right here. And by the time that we edit this and put this together, we will have basically all the different outlets where the book is sold at. Because we know through the publisher, it try to hit every outlet that there is.
Right.
You want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to let you know that where you can get the book from, and we're going to ask you, please, if you have anybody, and I know everybody got somebody in their family that's struggling with addiction. He got some poems in here, and you'll hear a few in a minute, but he got some poems in here that deal with just about every situation that you can face when it comes to the struggle of alcoholism, or he got some poems that showing how you have to trust Jesus to bring you up out of there. And we just thank God for this opportunity here at World Events and Bible Prophecy Channel, Testimony of Praise. I thank God for our brother, elder of our ministry, Elder Ricky Cooks. And I thank God for my wife, that we're sitting here and just being a part of seeing this book come to pass. It's always an honor that when God give us something, we speak it to somebody, and then we finally see the end result. So we're going to ask you to continue to follow us here on the network. Follow us, listen to the other testimonies that we have in there. And I'm telling you, you're going to hear more coming from this man of God. You're going to hear more teachers coming, because he is a preacher. He also can teach, preach, and he's also going to be coming out even with more books. We're speaking more books is coming up out of you. More books are coming up out of there. And I want to say this before we cut off. I believe also that the same thing your dad did, I believe that that could be something that you could follow up and do. Continue.
That's what this is doing.
That's what this is doing. That's what I'm waiting on you to say. So we just thank God for you listening to this powerful testimony. And you're going to hear more come from the man of God. Until next time.
Okay, this poem is based on my final night of addiction. It's called From Life to Death to Life. Like a lost insect surrounded by the darkest of nights, predators, traps, and death are the enemy's delight. Too tired to run, too tired to fight, tossed to and fro by the wind like a stringless kite, and they wait for you to fall. Filled with pride and anger, with hopelessness, fear, and despair, going in all directions and still going nowhere, abandoned by your friends and your family doesn't even care. You move from life to death, and you're not even aware, and they watch you as you fall. You're halfway up and you're halfway down, and all you can see is the coming of the ground. You look up and reach out, but there's no help around. You realize your position, and you begin to frown, and they watch you as you crawl. But it was also abandoned all of our lives for things we thought would please us. At best it was fleeting and temporary, and didn't even appease us. We gave up life, family, friends, possessions, everything for something that could only tease us. How clever Satan is, but as long as we live, we could always call on Jesus. And they watched as he answered our call. Then like a science fiction movie, it was crazy, it was wacky. The next thing we knew, we were in front of Miss Jackie. She took us in, and how she does it, I don't know exactly. But I know that God maintains us, and for the most part keeps us happy. And he smiles on us all. So when you come into the love house, don't bring in your strife. Leave it in the world with the rest of your plights. Sometimes correction hurts. It can cut like a knife. Be still, recuperate. You just pass from death to life. Be a watchman on the wall. This poem is called The Love of My Life. Young men, if you do not feel this way about a woman, do not attempt to have a relationship with her. I am yours and you are mine, and that's the way I see it. From now on, I want everyone to know that's the way it is. So be it. You were chosen to be mine from the beginning of time. I know that you are the one. Until the end of time, we will be fine. Until the kingdom comes. I made an important decision, one of the best decisions of my life, when I wanted to be your husband and I wanted you to be my wife. If you walk by my side, I promise you, I won't lead you anywhere odd. I only ask that you follow me, as long as I am following God. To me, you are so beautiful, a miracle sent from above, a gift from God that I will always cherish, a gift that I will always love. I was afraid to admit it from the start, but now I must make a stand. Without you in my life playing a part, I will not be a complete man. Love is a wonderful thing. I was incomplete, but now I see that half of me is you, and the other half is me. My love for you is so great, our life we must bind. I want to take your father's name from you, and in exchange, I'll give you mine. If we ever disagree, or argue, or fight, or whatever, just bring this poem back to me, and we will seek God together. No matter whose fault it is, if one of us stumbles or blunders, what God has joined together, let no man or woman put asunder. Okay, after being freed from drugs, I was still in bondage to tobacco. Now that I am free indeed, I can look at my dilemma with amusement. The title of this poem is The Head of My Life. Without thinking, I kiss you again and again. I seek you first thing in the morning and all day. I panic when I'm without you. I think of you at night when I lay. It's as though I can't live without you. You are that important to me. Some say I'm embracing a demon. They say it's killing you. Can't you see? So what if you're full of poisons and toxins? My desire for you makes it simple. I could be smoking something more dangerous, something that would really defile my holy temple. God, you took alcohol. God, you took crack. God, you took iniquities of all sorts. God, you've been so good to me as I look back. But please, God, please don't take my Newports. I've been smoking as long as I can remember. I'll smoke till I can't anymore. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Where did he go? I opened the door. I tried to stop, I swear I did. The more I smoked, the harder I tried. Greater is he who lives in me than he who is in the world. It seems that one of us has lied. I say it with my attitude as my hand tightens its grip. I say it with my actions. Isn't it odd? I say it with everything except my own two lips. I say, watch me as I obey my God.
God bless you.